Well, welcome to the program. We begin with breaking news as the Federal High Court has ordered the temporary forfeiture of 23 properties linked to the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms, that's Mr. Anyaegbunam. The court also ordered the EFCC to return to court on November the 19th for mention on the matter. Well, the EFCC is also seeking an order for the publishing of an advert on the properties in a national daily to enable anyone who has any reason why the properties should not be finally forfeited to the federal government to come forward and prove same. The motion is supported by a 30-paragraph affidavit and brought pursuant to Section 17 of the Money Laundering Act. The trial judge, Justice Ogubanjo, granted order as prayed by EFCC and asked that the anti-graft agency, of course, return on November the 19th for mention. And moving outside Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived in Russia to attend a 3-day Russia-Africa summit, which is holding between tomorrow, that's October the 23rd, and the 25th. The meeting is expected to explore and expand opportunities in security, trade, investment, science and technology, as well as gas production. A statement by presidential spokesman says President Buhari will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the summit to further strengthen relations in key areas. The statement adds that an African business forum will also be holding during the event to promote Russian investment in Africa and boost African business interests in the host country. President Buhari is accompanied on the trip by several high-ranking government officials and is expected back in the country after the summit. Well, back in the country, amidst uproar of brazen illegality from some quarters within the legal community, the Kogi State government has gone ahead to swear in Mr. Edward Onoja as the new deputy governor of Kogi after the State House of Assembly confirmed his appointment. Well, the oath of office was administered on Mr. Onoja by the state's chief judge, Justice Nasir Ajano. Well, until his appointment, Mr. Onoja was the chief of staff to the Kogi State governor, Anyaegbunam. He replaces the embattled former deputy governor, Simon Achuba, who was impeached by the lawmakers last week.
Members of the Kogi State House of Assembly sit at the hallowed chamber to conduct the screening of the governor's nominee, Edward Onoja. The deputy governorship nominee is then ushered into the assembly complex, where he takes an oath, asked to introduce himself.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished members of the House, my names are Onoja Edward David.
And with support from members, that Honorable Onoja Edward David take a bow and leave. Say aye.
At the banquet hall of the Government House, Lokoja, the arrival of the governor, Yahaya Bello, to the hall kickstarts the program. As the Speaker of the Kogi State House of Assembly, Kalawole Matthew describes the confirmation as reward for loyalty.
We have performed our own constitutional role by screening him, and we find him worthy of standing in as the new deputy governor of Kogi State.
Then the chief judge of Kogi State administers the oath of office.
And that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
And then appends his signature.
The brand new.
In his speech, the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, charged the new deputy governor, Edward Onoja, to be proactive.
We are being spurred to do more. We are simply pencils in the hands of God Almighty to turn around the fortunes of Kogi State.
At the end of the program, Mr. Edward Onoja promises that the people of the state will witness a turnaround.
My message fully is, let us continue to build a prosperous, united, peaceful, developed state. We have no any other state but Kogi State.
For the moment, criticism have been trailing the manner of the former deputy governor of Kogi State's impeachment. It's left to be seen if his replacement will be challenged in court. For now, the Deputy Governor will have to settle into his role.
So there you have it. But for more perspectives on the legality or otherwise of the swearing-in of Mr. Edward Onaja as a new Deputy Governor of Kogi State, we have Barrister Emmanuel Anyaegbunam, the Executive Director, African Center for Constitutional and Parliamentary Studies. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Now, a lot has been said about the legality or otherwise of this process. And, you know, a particular daily this morning reported saying, in brazen assault on Constitution, Kogi swears in new Deputy Governor. But that's on one side. But I'd like you to hypothesize for a moment and, you know, help us understand how were the legislators, how did they go about this process such that they came out with this outcome? Because from the pictures we're seeing, they don't seem to appear with people that say this did not follow due process.
Well, the issue on ground is basically a constitutional issue, which we take from Section 88 of the Constitution that deals with removal of deputy governor and state governor. The Assembly has an allegation which led to the Speaker applying to the Chief Judge of the state to set up a panel, investigation panel. And the investigation panel did its work and reported, this is where the basic issue now lies, that the allegation was not proved. If you go to the Constitution, Section 88, subsection 8, says that once this allegation is not proved by that panel, it ends the process. Nothing will go on unless the panel decides that the allegation has been proved. That is when the Assembly will go in to now exercise the power of removal. The United States is a good example. Currently, the Mueller report, which went to the House of Representatives, had not even been concluded by that Assembly before the new issue of whistleblower came up. But they are still taking their time. Here, the Constitution gave 90 days for the panel to sit. In Nigerian practice since Second Republic, Kaduna State and Kano State, Barebe Musa issue and Bibi Farouk had been that within 1 week or 2 weeks, a panel has concluded its assignment in Nigeria and then handover. But where we now have a serious issue is that the panel set up by the Chief Judge of the state recommended that this issue was not proved. Now the Assembly went on, and after that, the Chief Judge of the state, we have seen him, administered oath for a replacement of the Deputy Governor. And that replacement of the Deputy Governor has now gone in to assume the position of the Deputy Governor, which is really a very shocking and disturbing affair, taking the lead that we have spent 2 decades in this democratic process. And we are exhibiting unacceptable and unsavory attitude from every aspect of democratic culture, that we have no restraint, we have no decorum, we have no respect for rule of law, and then that the basic temperament, even to do the needful. The deputy, maybe from the onset, the deputy governor aspirant came in, took a bow, no question. He went in immediately. He was sworn in. The CJ of the state appeared, and this is due. So these are the issues. When it happened in Ekiti, then that we had almost 3 governors at the same time, when the State House of Assembly assumed a role that was not his as well, felt that the CJ has abused his position, removed the CJ, brought another one. What we had then, rather than face the issues squarely and methodologically, it ended up in a state of emergency.
Barrister, if I can just put this in briefly. If I can just put this in briefly. Now, some people are saying the Chief Judge should not have conducted the swearing-in. Well, some others said, well, his hands were tied. What is your opinion on this? Do you think he should have gone ahead to conduct the swearing-in?
My worries is that he himself set up the panel that returned the no allegation verdict. For him to go on again and swear the new nominee in is a very big question mark on his strength of on his office. And then let me not say strength of character, but actually it has a very big problem or dent on our independence of our judiciary and then the collective bargain of most of us in doing our job and what ought to be. Because basically this issue will end up in court, but that's at the time you will finish the legal process, then the baby and the bathwater must have gone, because the office of the deputy governor, mind you, all over the country, has been neutralized by the dictatorial tendencies of the governors. In every state, if you watch the setting, apart from Abaribe, who as deputy governor later survived to come to the Senate, if you watch the governors, it is either the speaker or the commissioner for finance who are their accolades in running the state treasury that follows them to the Senate, and both in the convoy, vehicle convoy and office of the deputy governor throughout the whole country, you will see an outright neutralization. In some of the states, it is not even in existence. You are just there by name. You read newspapers, and you don't take any position whatsoever. If you do, it is as your period, and you will be removed. If you check the list, once you fall out with the governor of the state, you are on your way home. So these are all parts of the tragedies we have been able to inculcate as unwholesome culture within these 2 decades of our democratic experiment, and it is not the best for each and every one of us.
All right, on a final note, now this once again calls to question the conduct of lawmakers, from state to, the national level. So I'd like you to just try to clear the air on this. What does this, on one hand, say of their conduct and the standard expected of the arm of government that is meant to make laws? Are they getting proper orientation, for example, in your opinion?
Well, it is a collective gift, like I said. They are representatives of the people. Now you have the link between the people and their representatives and what they stand for. Like I gave example with the United States, what representation, lawmaking and oversight means as the core duties of a legislature. So now we have lost that, and you ask yourself, what is the recruitment process? Is those who the governor as the henchman of the state, if he gives you tickets, you automatically there. He controls the party as his own because he has the war chest of the state at his disposal. So that's why even with bailout funds, they will not pay salary, they will not do anything, and you will see them recycle themselves. Like I have said, when you finish there, you move on to the Senate with your accolade, who has been the commissioner, who helped you, commissioner of works or commissioner of finance. Therefore, the issue is that we have not had political parties that are responsible and responsive to the people, and the people have lacked the basic consciousness. When you have no middle class that is competitive and that can challenge the system, there is no need going into democracy, and that is what we are now exhibiting to the world, that the dictatorial Democrats who now hold on the state as emperors are now in control from local government where they will not even conduct democratically elected elections. Right. They handle the votes of local government at their disposal, now run the parties. So they are sole administrators who, most of them are now, have taken oath of office and have stayed 6 months in their states without commissioners. So this tendency is worrisome. And
once again,
what is playing out now.
Like I said, it's good that once again you have brought to light,
and it's undemocratic.
Right. Once again, it's good you have brought to light the issue that says, power lies with the people. So I want to believe moving forward, we have a clear picture of this. But we'd like to thank you so much, Barrister Emmanuel Anyaegbunam, for sharing your thoughts with us on the program.